Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Do you see my little pig? This little piggy went to market. This little piggy was over 50. Thanks for stopping by today. If you're new, I'm Carrie. I'm a matchmaker, a dating coach, and also have this little YouTube channel here where we talk about dating and relationships. Today, I wanted to talk about a study that I saw. You know, I'm always reading stuff, trying to help my clients, my matchmaking clients, coaching clients, and new information is key. And I need to stay on top of this stuff. And when I find something interesting, I make sure that I share it with my friends here. And there was a study that the way we view aging plays a very, very vital role in determining how long we get to enjoy being an older person. I thought that was super imperative that I share this with you today. And that's what we're going to talk about. How we view age-related changes, the way we look at that impacts everything and how long we live. So I think it's important. Let's talk about it. As always, positivity, gratitude, the way we look at things can change everything. Why would we choose to look at things in a way that is not in our own best interest? That would be silly. We've really got to work at trying to see things through that lens of gratitude, appreciation, and feeling that we're lucky wherever we have landed at this moment, because certain things got us here, and this is leading us to wherever we're going. The stories we tell ourselves are what determine our reality. And if we can wrap our heads around that, it really can pay off for us with a longer and happier life. And let me see what I wanted to share with you about this today. I had some reasons that we could look at embracing being at this stage in our life, being over 50, some of the things we get now, besides just, that we're smarter because we've been here longer. There are other reasons to look at this as a positive experience, more so than just every day above ground is a good day. There's more to it than that. And I think if I share with you a few things that maybe you could tap into that gratitude more easily and live to be the ripe old age of, I don't know, what do you want to live to be? 100 maybe? That would be good, right? Number one, I was thinking, now we really are who we were meant to be, right? There were a lot of distractions earlier in life, but you head into your 50s and beyond, and you really, once the dust has settled, you really are at a place where you can just be comfortable with where you landed. This is, who I was going to be with everything I've prioritized and everything I've learned. And I can decide now that I want to continue to be a person who keeps learning, and I could not if I'm done learning. But I think we are who we were meant to be at this age, and I think that's pretty cool. So it's a positive for being of a certain age. Number two, I wanted to point out that ageism is bullshit, because there are so many other countries where being older gets you respect and admiration, and people seek out your wisdom, where here it's not quite as prized or as respected. So I think that we have to just remember that one of the places that we landed and the dust has settled, if you're in the United States, and I know some of you are not, is that in this day and age, there's not a lot of respect for a lot of people. So I think maybe we shouldn't even count this, but living through half a century is something that we at least should know counts for something, and that we should be in a really great place to pass along the things that we know and we've learned, like I'm doing right now, letting you know that the way you look at something is going to determine the outcome. You didn't read that article, I did, so I'm sharing it with you, and I'm prioritizing that because I'm in a place that I'd even be looking at that article, and I want to share it with anybody who's in the same place I am and has seen their 50th birthday and maybe some after that. And I want you to feel good about that. I want you to live your longest and best life. So forget about ageism. It only counts what you think. Number three, I think it's important that at this age we focus on not the things we've lost, but the things we've gained. I've talked about a bunch of them here. We've learned who we are and what's important to us. But there's a lot of things that we've learned by the time we're 50, what we want to do with our time, where we want to prioritize our efforts in this life, who we want to surround ourselves with, and who we've had to let go, all types of things. So I think focusing on the wisdom and the maturity and knowing ourselves best are definitely things that we've gained as we've gotten older, that self-confidence to trust our intuition, things of that nature. Hopefully things that you've lost are things that you've learned to accept. And I'm hopeful, very hopeful, that what you've lost does not have to do with your health, because that's the most challenging to overcome. Hopefully, we are wise enough in our 50s to know that we are not the wisest in all areas, and to seek out information where we're going to get good and true information. That's why I love reading some of the studies and the metadata on these things. And most people these days are looking and seeking out that information about health before they get to 50. But if you haven't done so, anybody who's yet to try to figure out what should we be eating, how should we be taking care of ourselves, how much exercise do we really need? Really, does it have to be 40 minutes? Couldn't it be 20 minutes? But things are changing. They learn more all the time. So staying on top of that is certainly a gain. We can gain the information that we don't have and know that we don't know everything. Number 4, a quick reminder that becoming 100 years old is just more and more common all the time. Speaking of studies, there are so many studies going on. I follow a doctor who's looking at our DNA and the sequencing to figure out how the genes play a role in how long we live and how to reset some of those. Mice are living like freaking forever. So that could be in our future. So let's hang on to what we have and take good care of ourselves, because maybe it won't be our generation, maybe it will be the next. But just in case it is, we really should be prepared for that and not let everything just go to hell in a handbasket, is what I'm thinking. But also I was thinking, if we are going to live that long, the other side is true also. If we're only halfway through our life, we better ramp up and make sure that we're set up so that that second half, if it's a whole nother 50 years, so that it looks like what we want it to look like. In some regards, we have more time, but we have less time to prepare for that more time. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is an opportunity to reassess some priorities as far as what's important to us and our health and well-being. So that study said that people who not only accepted but embraced being older, people who thought it was a blessing and had gratitude for that age, lived way longer. People who thought that being 50 was old and had a very negative attitude about it, they died. I want me to live, but I want us to live healthfully. And if it's not, the numbers they came up with, certainly my common sense tells me that thinking that 50 is young and that I've got a whole heck of a lot of life ahead of me, and appreciating the fact that I got to this point and looking forward to what the future holds is going to be much more beneficial than giving up. How many years do I have left? I can just coast from here on out. It's just not the way I'm going to choose. So I'm hoping that you see the value in what I'm saying and that you want to come on that same track that I am going to take into my 90s. Mere acceptance or moderate tolerance of old age did not see the same results for longevity that people had when they embraced it and saw it as a positive and something to be grateful for. That's what I wanted to share. And then number 7, I wanted to finally mention that part of this attitude thing is to remember when there are setbacks or challenges that are age-related, to look not at this small snapshot, to not just look at this challenge in front of us, but to keep in mind the big picture. And that, I think, will serve us best in making the very, very most of 50 and beyond. Well, I hope you found that interesting and or helpful. If you did, please do what my little mama's telling you to do and give the episode a thumbs up. I hope that you will subscribe and ring that bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new episode. And I will look forward to seeing you back here again very soon. Appreciate you stopping by today. Until next time, have a good one. And if the big picture has a lot of, I should probably go in this direction to your right. Is that, from here to the future, is that your direction? Okay.